Most YouTubers think that the key to growth is just posting more videos. But what if I told you the faster way to grow is actually by studying other creator channels that are just a few steps ahead of you? Because if you're in the first 60 days of YouTube, the smartest decision you can make is channel research. Hey, I'm Ricky, and this is The Pocket Creator, where I help busy creators make professional content without needing a full studio or a full-time schedule. Let's talk about how research can give your channel a massive head start. In the beginning, we all love to blame the algorithm. YouTube just doesn't like me. But even YouTube's CEO said it best. Think of the algorithm as your audience. That means your success depends on how well you understand what it is your audience wants. And the fastest way to figure that out is by studying what's working already, especially from creators who are just a little further along than you are. Now, it's tempting to hit those big creators and go out and try to look at channels that have millions of subscribers. But that's not where you want to start. But instead, look at 5 to 10 channels in your niche. Pick channels that have about 500 to maybe 10,000 subscribers. Why? Because their videos still have to work on their own. They don't have a huge fan base that's carrying their views yet. And even better, you can typically easily scroll back and see what worked for them as they were growing when their channel was probably the same size as yours. One tool that I love to use to help me do this research is vidIQ. It's a free browser plugin that shows me things like search volume, competition score, SEO details, and so much more, all right there while I'm looking at other people's videos. But you'll see it, and I'll point it out to you some when we're scrolling through some of the channels. So let's go do some channel reviews and take a look at some channels that I found. I'll walk you through what I think they're doing well, what stands out to me in their titles and their thumbnails, and what you can learn from them to shape your next video. Let's jump in. All right, so I went searching and found a few channels that I wanted to do a little bit more research for, just for you guys. I haven't really searched a lot on these, so it'll be fresh as we're kind of going through them here. So the first channel that I found was this one here. His name's Jacob. So one of the first things I like to do when I open up a new channel is kind of just look a little bit right there at their main thing, see what their banner looks like, see their profile, and then click here on the more and then kind of look to see what kind of channel description do they have, what other pages do they have. So this will tell you a lot about the channel. So here, he doesn't really have a long description. A lot of times people have a little bit more than that, but I mean, it's pretty clear. Empowering creators to thrive, have fun, do less, and earn more. He's got a couple links here to what are probably email generators or lead generators, maybe to get some emails for you to do some stuff there. He's got an Instagram. Let's see here. He started his channel in 2017, so the channel's been around for a while. He's got about 4,600 subscribers, and he's posted 42 videos. So now let's kind of look here, and we'll go and just kind of look through. So the first thing I like to do is just kind of start off and see what kind of content he's got. So we see here under the videos that he does long form, which is typically what I follow the most. So I'll spend more time on that. But then I like to look to see, do they have shorts? Yeah, so he's got a little bit of shorts. I'll just do a quick scan. I don't really do shorts yet, and I've been kind of on the fence about whether or not I should. They say they do really well at helping bring you more viewers and potentially even subscribers, but they also say it can be harmful sometimes to your long form stuff if you build a huge audience that likes short form. So I've kind of been on the fence about whether I should do it. But looking at his, like doesn't have a ton, so he hasn't really been doing them a lot. Some of them don't have very many views at all. A few of them have got, there's 1,500 views. Most of them look to be in the bottom 100, 200 views or so forth. So not a ton there. Let's see, he's got some playlists, which is good. You guys hear me talk about how important it is to have playlists because that helps people potentially take the opportunity to binge through more of your content, which YouTube loves. And then post. So it looks like he does have a few posts here. Let's just kind of see. This one was 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 9 months ago, 10 months. So he doesn't post very often, but I'll give him credit. He posts more frequently than I do. I've been saying that's something I should start doing more of, but I haven't gotten into the posting yet. So he's doing better than me. All right, so now let's go back to videos. So when I first click on the videos, one of the first things I like to do is I like to click on the oldest first, just because I want to see like how long has the channel been around and how long have they been posting videos. So if you look here, he's got a video from 4 years ago. And so this is one of those things when I talked about vidIQ, one of the things it'll show you when you have this plugin on is it'll show you your outlier score. So this here was 100 times outlier score. So that meant that most likely when he put this video out 4 years ago, he probably did not have a lot of subscribers and he wasn't really getting a lot of views on some of his videos. And so this one getting 134,000 views was a big video from him. And that probably brought a lot of subscribers back then for him and really started to really help him start to build on that 4,600 subscribers that he has up here. I'd be willing to bet that brought in a lot. And then he's got a break there where, you know, there's no videos that were posted for a while. So either that tells me a couple things. That could be a lot that you're figuring out here. Is either one, he took a break, or two, maybe he had been posting a lot, but he had decided maybe he was doing it a different direction, had a different niche that he was trying to follow and do, and then kind of realized with some of these videos or something that maybe he was enjoying more of the YouTube niche and the YouTube growth, which is what I am doing with this channel as well, and decided to pivot. And so maybe then he deleted a lot of those other videos, which isn't necessarily a bad thing to do, because you know those other videos, if they were completely different niches, could be bringing in audiences or subscribers that would, you know, clash some with his videos. So either way, he shifted, but then he started posting things about 10 months ago. And then first thing I like to look is just see what the frequency. So he's got 2 videos in 10 months, 9 videos at 9 months, or 2 videos at 9 months, 1 video 8 months, 1 video 7, 1 6, 1 5, 2 5, 2 4, 3 4, 1 2 3 months ago, and then 3 2 months ago. So he wasn't really starting off posting a lot at first. He was maybe posting 1 to 2 videos a month, which is really not a lot when you're getting into this world. But then you could tell every once in a while he'd have the time period to do 3 in 1 month. So not too horrible. He was at least posting consistently each month. So, you know, as you guys hear me say all the time, it's find a schedule that works for you and just be consistent to that schedule. And so now let's just kind of glance at his thumbnails. So for me, he's got some pretty decent thumbnails here. So that tells me he probably did do a lot of videos over the last 4 years, and he really learned a lot as he was growing his channel in the past niche. And so he undoubtedly got a lot better with his thumbnails from here to here. So I really kind of like these thumbnails. I think, you know, having the color in the back like that really helps pop. You can tell he kind of edited it himself a little bit to be able to make him pop, and tried to stay basic with not a ton of words, but a little bit of stuff to draw attention. So I like his thumbnails. I think he did really well in his thumbnails. But then now as I kind of glance through some of his videos here, you can see the view counts. And so I'm kind of just seeing we've got 800, there's 2,500, 1,900. So he's got a few good ones there. But then he really kind of starts to go down a little bit. And so he's got 400, 300, 400, 98 views, 114. So those are not a lot of views for his subscriber count, which is kind of weird, which maybe leans me to think that maybe this break here wasn't necessarily a break from YouTube, but it was what I was thinking before, which maybe he had a completely different niche, and he might have built all of these subscribers from that previous niche. And so then when he decided to pivot to YouTube growth, it might have conflicted with what his audience wanted to see. And so they didn't respond by watching too much of it. Now you can see he got some few views here, which, you know, 1,900 views is nothing to shake a stick at, especially 2,500. You know, so he was getting a little bit of attention there. So I'm not sure what caused him to kind of drop off and what he's got going. But, you know, undoubtedly it looks like he hadn't posted in the last 2 months. So I don't know if he decided to take another break, or maybe he decided to stop here and actually pivot to creating a new channel and really starting the YouTube growth from there, which might not have been a bad strategy. But he's got some good content here. I like some of his titles. I like some of his content. I think there's some things here that I could, work with some of these ideas, especially in the YouTube growth, and even any of your niches. A lot of time, most people will do something talking about how they grew their channel or how much money they might be making with their channel, because those things really are popular on YouTube, because we're all looking to find out some of that information. So no matter what your niche is, you could potentially do some of those. But here, I'll just kind of look real quickly, and then we'll move to the next channel. So you can see, some of his popular ones are these up here. So the one way back then, I don't really do a lot of TikTok, so that really doesn't help me with some of mine. But this one, like here, this was a very popular video for him, just doing some cinematic lighting setups and talking about how he probably records his videos. So that's not a bad one. And so this would be one of those that I might actually, watch it a little bit, see kind of what the topic was about. You can see that I kind of breezed through it here as I was quickly looking at the channel earlier, and just kind of watched some of that and skipped through to see what he had. But this is definitely one that I think I would like to potentially look at in the future of my channel, because as you guys know, I like to, even though I don't do a lot of studio setups, I do like to try to give people an option on how to do some of these things cheap, and how you don't have to have a fancy high dollar studio to do stuff. So I might actually do something like that in the future for myself. So, all right. So thanks, Jacob, for helping us learn a little bit there. So now we'll move on to the next one here. So now we've got Brooke. So Brooke's a channel I just came across here recently. And as you can see, I've actually started, I've only watched a few of her videos so far. But I really like, a lot of her content that I've seen so far, because as you can see, I subscribed to her. So there's a lot going on here. And so I just thought I would do a little bit deeper dive into her channel to see what's happening. So we'll start off, we'll look here in the description. So she's got a little bit more of a description. I'm a single mom and entrepreneur rebuilding my life after leaving an abusive marriage. I share what I've learned and what I'm still figuring out. Brooke, you and I have that in common. About online business, healing, self-worth, and growth on YouTube, all in real time. Yes, I love that. That's the same kind, very similar to my mission and what I want to do, and how I want to share with you guys all the things that I'm learning. You can see here she's got a website, super good on her. That's ahead of me. She's also got some information here. It looks like she does some counseling, which is super cool. So there's ways for people to bet a book to kind of check out her and to get some advice from her. She started her channel, it looks like, in 2023, which is just a couple years ago. So she's got 1,600 subscribers, which is pretty good. 191 videos, wow, that's a lot in a short period of time. So I bet you she does some shorts and stuff too. And then 124,000 views. So man, she's doing something right. So I think there's definitely going to be something I can learn here. All right, so let's kind of look through here. Now, as we're kind of looking, you can see her long form. So we'll come back and look at some of that. She's got a good bit of long form there, videos, shorts. Oh yeah, she's got a lot of shorts. And man, look at some of this stuff. 1,000 views, 700 views, 1,000 views, 1,000 views, 1,300 views, 1,300 views, 1,600 views. Man, she has got a lot of shorts. So she has undoubtedly been doing shorts for a long time. And that stuff has definitely brought her a lot of views to her channel, and potentially even gained her some subscribers. So there's a lot I could probably learn here on the shorts, and how she's done some of that. I've been on the fence about actually whether or not I could make that work for my channel or not, but just looking at hers right there makes me think I might could. Looks like she does lives. So she hasn't been doing lives for very long, so it looks like just a couple months, which is good. she's getting some views on there. So she's, to me, lives are really good about, helps you interact with your audience a lot and helps them connect with you more. It's something I eventually want to do in the future. Oh, wow, she's got a podcast. That's cool. See, talk about how we learn something new every day. There's 11 episodes here. I didn't even know that you could do podcasts on YouTube. This is cool. I got to do some more research on that. I like this. Playlist. Yep. So she's got a lot of playlists here, which is good. So she's got a lot of different things here. So she's got some tutorials, tips for entrepreneurs, some vlogs, mom life and entrepreneurship stuff, YouTube journey, and then, her shorts. So that's smart. I guess I wouldn't have thought about creating a playlist for her shorts, but that's a great way to get somebody to binge your shorts as a playlist. So she's definitely doing something right here, looks like, with some of her playlist. And then post, all right, 4 days ago, 6 days ago, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, so it looks like she posts pretty frequently, which is super smart. It's a really great way to interact with your audience. I definitely could learn from this because, man, I've just been trying to bust my butt to make a lot of content here lately, and I haven't really been focused on some of these other things, so I don't do any posts. So she's definitely could learn a lot from her on that as well. All right, so let's go back to videos real quick. So as usual, when I first click on the videos, I'm going to start oldest first and go here, so you can see she's been posting videos for about a year, for long form at least. As many shorts as she has, I'm almost willing to bet you money that she might have started with just shorts in the beginning and did a lot of that. So looking through here, yeah, so she's got some small views here, which is common. I mean, for her to have as many subscribers as she has, like, I bet you money some of these videos that have 196 probably when she first started were ones like some of ours when you first start your channel that might have had 5 views or 10 or even 20 views in the beginning. But then once you start getting more subscribers, people go back and watch some of your earlier stuff. So that probably happened here too with her. And so you can see she had quite a few different types of things she was kind of showing. She was starting to post. And then it seems like here she's starting to really switch into some of the coaching. But there's the one about how she escaped her bad marriage, how YouTube changed her life. I think that one kind of hit, and you can see it's a big, pretty outlier score for her. So 10,000 views there at one point, and so that probably made her decide to kind of start going in that direction. You see a lot more things here talking about YouTube going on there. All right, so that gives me a decent idea. So now because she's got a lot more videos, I won't necessarily look at all of them, but so that helps me give a little bit of an understanding of her history. And then now I can come up and click on popular. And so what looking at the popular ones do is kind of tell me what kind of content was her audience looking for. So even though she and I may not be exactly alike in our channels, we are both doing some YouTube growth stuff. And so her audience may be a little different than mine, but you're also going to have some very similarities from some of that. And so the fact that how YouTube changed my life, less than 500 subscribers. So that one was a big video for her, and that was 9 months ago. So she had less than 500 subscribers 9 months ago and got 10,000 views on that. So this is one of those where, this would be another one I would watch. As you can see, I actually already have. It was one of the ones I was checking out with her whenever I was doing, when I first got introduced to her channel. And I could, start to come up with some thoughts. And, you want to make sure when you're looking at this, I don't want to completely copy her video. Now, I've seen this title before, so this is a title that is going around a lot of the YouTube growth. So, I might copy or make my title very similar to hers. Sometimes I even take inspiration from somebody's thumbnail. Like, I actually like how simple her thumbnail is here. She really kind of pops in there. Um, she could pop a little bit better from her background. There's some techniques on what you could do to kind of, go into Canva, cut the background out, separate yourself from the background, and then kind of put some glow around you, or outline, or or just brighten yourself up so that you stand off of the background a little bit more. But I like how she's simple with her text. She's got some really good, I think, thumbnails going on here. I like this one. Some good things. I mean, she's definitely, you can tell, learned from some other folks and stuff too on this, because these are all things I think I'm starting to slowly learn with my own thumbnails as I go through. So, and then too, so if I'm looking at her outlier scores here, you've got some other ones. Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Creating Facebook Reels. I don't really do that, so that's not one I would look for. Why Starting YouTube is a Brilliant Idea, even if no one watches. Did really well for her. How I Made $5,494 on YouTube without being monetized. So like this one did all right for her. But in all honesty too, I've been thinking about doing one of these here soon to let you guys know how much money I've been making so far in the first couple months of being on YouTube and taking it a little bit more seriously. But I think too, like, the difference here was, I don't know that I would have said how much. I think if you want to add that curiosity loop here into the title and make you guys wonder how much, and that'll make more people click in potentially, and then you just got to keep them in. And so there's a lot of cool things that she's got here. So she's got a lot of cool videos here. And this is a channel I think I can very much relate with a lot, because you can tell, she's in her first year. She's still got a lot of videos that are kind of hitting that 100, 200 views mark. But she's growing. She's getting better, because as you look at some, like if I go back up and I look at her latest stuff, you can tell, like, this one was just posted a week ago and it's already got 446 views. And this one's super funny. If you guys haven't seen it, it's hilarious. It was actually the video that introduced me to her channel. So I really liked it. I like that kind of humor. As you guys know, I keep trying to find time to do that myself, but those videos can be hard to, it's a lot of editing. But either way, she's got a lot of cool things here. I think there's a lot of cool content. I can come back in here too and do a little bit more research and find some more videos that I think I could relate with. Another fun thing that you can do is, if you see somebody that's done a topic, but you feel like, hey man, that could have been so much more, you could have added so much more to that, then that's a way that, then you can take that video and then really make it your own and give that extra value that you think that video would have done to help you. All right, so let's do one more. So we're going to do one more channel, and we're going to actually dive into one that's a little bigger than I normally would look at, but it'll just help me kind of look at some of this. So we're going to look at Diane's channel here. So Diane's got 28,000 subscribers. So let's look at her About Me. So here she's got a definitely bigger subscription or a description for her page. She tells about who she is. I'm a solo 50-something who really wants to help my peers in their 40s, 50s, and 60s believe that what they have to share with the world is needed and necessary. Oh, I love that, Diane. That's so relates along with what my message is. That's super awesome. Look, she's got an affiliate store with Amazon. She's got a Buy Me Coffee. These are things that, I'm thinking about for the future as well. For my channel, let's see here. Her channel started in 2019, which is a little ways back. So she's either been doing this for a while or at least had the channel for a while. 28,000 subscribers, 58 videos. Okay, that's interesting. That's not necessarily a lot. So she hasn't been doing it quite that long. So, but then 846,000 views. Holy cow. Wow, that's a lot. All right. Let's look here now, just like we did with some of the others. She's got her long-form content. Let's see what she's got for shorts. She's got, okay, just a few shorts. So the challenge with the shorts for me is, at least I don't know how to tell when they posted them. So if you know how to tell that, feel free to tell me in the comments. But I can't tell for how long she's done it. Like, did she just recently start doing shorts? Or did she just
only do them once every other month or something. But she's got some good views on some of her shorts. So she's got, 1,500, 1,600, 2,300. So maybe she should be doing some more shorts. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence on whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing for your channel. Yeah, it seems to be a lot of controversy in a lot of the creators out there on what they think about how that goes. Playlist. So she's only got a couple playlists, which, that's okay. She's got 39 videos in this one. YouTube success when you're over 40. 25 videos in this one. Share what you know. And this one's some of her, it looks like probably some of her earlier stuff, maybe neck surgery. Okay. And then go post. So she got a post 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago. Okay, so she doesn't post super frequently, but definitely post way more than I do. So I definitely need to figure this post thing out, because it seems to be something that a lot of these channels seem to be doing. So, if you guys think that I should be writing posts and, connecting that way, let me know that as well. All right, so let's go back to videos. So now we'll start back on oldest. And so, okay, just kind of like I thought. So she started her videos, at least posting some of the stuff, about 5 years ago. And it looks like she was carrying people around, letting her know about her journey with her neck surgery, which, man, I can so totally relate with that, considering my youngest had a snowboarding accident and had neck surgery. And so that can be a very challenging time. And so super cool on her for sharing that with everybody, because I'm sure that was a very vulnerable time for her to have to look at some of that. But you can tell, so she got a lot of views for some of those videos. 9,000, 21,000, 19,000, 26,000, 12,000. Man, she's rock star in the neck surgery niche there for a little while. Okay. But then you can tell, okay, so then, so those were just every, it was only a few videos, 4 videos 5 years ago, 1 video 3 years ago, 2 videos, 3 videos 2 years ago. Okay. So those are really, really spread out. But either way, all of those views probably definitely brought her some subs, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. It helped her get started. But when she decided, you can tell here, when she started, oh, I like that, sticking my neck out here. So about 11 months ago, it looks like she shifted now and started kind of wanting to teach people some of the YouTube growth, or just the constructs of getting on YouTube and telling your story. And so you can see, let's see here, 5 videos and 10 months ago, 1, 2, 3, 4 videos 9 months ago, 8 months ago. So she started off with about a 1 video a week strategy, which is not a bad one. That's a good strategy to start with. 7 months, 6 months. Yeah, she kind of looks like she stuck with that for a little while. Anywhere from 3 to 4 videos a month. Okay, so pretty frequently, let's just kind of glance real quick, like at her thumbnails, starting from her older ones. So of course you can tell she really wasn't worried about thumbnails back then, which, okay. Undoubtedly it did not matter, because she still got a lot of views. And then she started kind of playing with it. But like for me, some of these thumbnails were just, they're a little busy, a little harder to see when you're on, say, a phone scrolling. But she started kind of changing. She could tell she was really, really messing with a lot of her font there for a little while to really decide. But it looks like now she's starting to kind of get to the same font, changing the colors a little bit. So she was doing a lot, like I think I've been doing it a little bit. And she's been kind of playing around, testing different things. And let's scroll down. As she kind of, so some of her more recent stuff, she's still sticking to some of these same styles, where she's still putting a lot of words on her thumbnails, which, it seems to be working for her. So for me, I try to stick to, no more than, say, 2 to 4 words on a thumbnail. Make it simple and easy for people to see and catch their attention. So I'm not necessarily leaning completely into a lot of her thumbnails, but they're not bad. Like I said, I'm no pro at thumbnails anyway, so really not even one to judge. I'm still trying to figure out the secret sauce of thumbnails. If you have that secret as well, I would love to know it. All right, so now let's go back up here. Let's go popular. All right, so real quick, you can see all of the outliers here from vidIQ. And so, of course, most of her most popular videos are going to be her biggest outliers. So let's see here. Why starting a YouTube channel is a brilliant idea, even if nobody watches. See, we saw that one before, so that one's definitely a theme that's going across a lot of creators. 203,000 views 10 months ago. Man, that's a lot. She's still getting 1 view per hour. So the video is still kind of moving. This one's getting 2 views per hour still. So that's still, I mean, that's, nothing to shake a stick at. That's 40 views a day. This video is still kind of bringing her some attention. So, kind of like I've told you guys before, some of these things as you're doing them could definitely keep working for you for months and years later. So, like this one, when money is tight, 14 jobs and side hustle ideas for people. So she's got a lot of cool things on here. There's quite a few videos that I think I could take inspiration from here. Get more views on YouTube. That's one I've recently had started on. Did one for, I got 19 new subscribers in 9 weeks and learned this. That one, would definitely catch a lot of attention, I'm sure. Because everybody's looking for that instant growth, right? And so anything that talks about fast growth, making money fast, anything that seems to catch all of our attentions, even though we all know that the actual slow grind is a little bit more challenging to get to. So, but you definitely, once you start getting those bigger numbers, it's a lot easier to get videos faster. So for me, like for hers, I would be less likely to watch or to try to replicate any of like her newest stuff. Like this one was 6 hours ago and it started off with 265 views in one day. 1,400 views a week ago. Because for me, the fact that she's got 28,000 subs, I wouldn't want to really try to go, hey, this is a great idea. I love this. I'm going to do this because this video got her, 1,400 views in a week, and is still getting her 1 view an hour. And so I may not, necessarily try to replicate that because she's more established and got a lot more subs that are kind of helping her along on some of this stuff. So for me, if I'm looking at her channel, I'm going to want to do something more along the lines of looking at some of this stuff here that was, 10 months ago. So if you remember, she had just started her channel back up 11 months ago. And so this was a very early video for her. And so this one did really, really well. So it's one of those I should think about, doing a topic similar to this, watching maybe a couple videos, seeing what people are talking about. And is there anything that I can add to that topic that could be value added for you guys? Because as I mentioned before, I'm not out to just copy somebody's videos, or at least try my dangest not to. Doesn't mean that I don't like to jump on the trend bus every once in a while. But, all right, well, we got through a few channel reviews there. So the important part here is for you guys to just tell you that, one of the things, I've been doing this a lot. Like I am always constantly looking at channels and trying to review them and try to get some ideas for spurring content for myself. You can do the same thing with your niche. Pick 5 to 10 different people that you actually like what they're doing, and maybe you feel connected to them, and maybe you've even subscribed to their channels, and look to see what they're doing and what they're doing right. Because that can give you the secret sauce on what the audience is already liking out there and what's working for people, that fall into your particular niche. So here's the big takeaway, really. So channel research isn't really about going out and copying other people's stuff. It's more about finding out what are the trends, what are the patterns
out there? And what are the things that seem to be attracting the audiences in the niche that you may be working in? So here's my challenge to you. Pick 3 to 5 channels in your niche tonight. Study their recent content, study their past content, and then brainstorm 3 or 4 different ideas that you might have for your videos after looking at their channels. Let me know in the comments what niche you're in, or even put some links to some channels you're studying. I might just check it out and give you some thoughts. And if this helped, think about subscribing to my channel, because I've got tons more of no fluff advice on how to grow as a solo creator without a big team or a big budget. Thanks for watching. Now go out there and research those channels.